A letter from Priscilla. Dear Matty, how are all the folks back in St. Vincent? I hope fine. Since my last letter to you, things have actually begun to happen on campus. Life has suddenly become very interesting. Men can now sit on the verandas. How exciting! And other things too. Take for instance last Friday night when my friend Miss Liversalt says to me, Prissy, she says, come let us go down the valley. We're having a fete down there. So I jumps up and throws down the essay I was writing and says, sure, anything for a fete. Imagine my surprise, girl, when I leave Irving Hall and meet up with about 40 people moving towards the valley to the strains of a calypso band. Well, the journey ends in the riverbed, but some people start saying they ain't like the spot, and right away is confusion until Ras Meeks displays a surprising familiarity with these secluded areas by claiming that he knew a nice spot. So we follow him over sand and rocks until we are installed in a most romantic setting, and Bud soon started a merry fire. So far, so good. But suddenly someone shouts for a drink, and when we look around for the 3 gallons of punch so carefully concocted, Willie with a sheepish grin confesses that he left the container at the porter's lodge. No, we didn't murder him. We sent him back for it with Barnes as a guard. But alas, we didn't reckon with the bumps on the road. All the while he was catching the overflow of the punch in a large glass, and then for safety he transferred it to his mouth. So when they rejoined us, the punch was evenly distributed between Willie and the container. By this time, the moonlight and the music had begun to affect everybody. Well, child, this was the brightest Mona moon ever. So strange things began to happen. Old fire sticks began to smolder when Queenie and the fraud retreated further and further out of sight. I am sure that if Keyhole Fanny was here, even she would be surprised. Next moment I hear loud calls for Daphne and Sonny. Daphne and Sonny and our hostess rushes flustered into the firelight, vehemently protesting that they had only been looking for something. Meanwhile, friend Willie was busy piling surprise on surprise, sausage on sausage. Soon the men in high spirits got together and began to sing calypsos, the rudest ones. It was very naughty of them. All of us girls had to pretend not to hear. Then dancing began. Right there on the sand, my dear, it was fun. Everything fine when the band struck up an at first unrecognizable and certainly unwelcome tune, The Queen. But spirits were light as we climbed out of the valley. Willie and Wally often stopped to lighten the load of the container which they swung between them. When we reached the bus stop, the inevitable story started. Have you ever heard a story of Rum? Rum? Yes, Rum, you see, was a dog. A dog? Yes, a dog. Our numbers now greatly diminished. Well, this dog. Taylor walk. Another tree, another story. Then with a mighty effort, Willie raises the container to his lips and drains the last drop. Bye now. Right soon, my dear.